Hello, Rob here with Asset Protection Training. Today we're going to take a look at a typical duress clause. This is a clause that is found in almost every single asset protection trust you'll ever see, whether the trust is kinetic or just a typical trust. It's often called freedom from outside interference. It seems to irritate judges less. This is the clause that you need to be the most careful about. Why? Because this is the clause that pisses off the judges. And before I even explain it in more detail, I'm just going to ask you to take the moment. Let me read you the key parts. The settlor, that's normally my client, directs that the settlement be administered consistent with its terms, free of judicial intervention, and without order, approval, or other action of any court. To the extent any person is granted the power hereunder to compel any act on the part of the trustee, or has the authority to render advice to the trustee, or to otherwise approve or compel any action or exercise any power which affects or will affect this settlement, the settlor, trustee, and or protector is directed to do two things. First, the one little I, to accept or recognize only instructions or advice or the effects of any approval or compelled action or the exercise of any power which are given by or are the result of persons acting on their own free will and not under compulsion of any legal process or like authority. So one little I says, hey guys, we want you all, the settlor, trustee, and protector, to ignore anything that isn't given from the free will, as a result of a human being doing their job as expected and as retained, hired, or contractually obligated. So basically only things on a person's free will that are appropriate. And two little I, to ignore any advice or any directive, order, or like decree, or the results or effects thereof of any court, administrative body, or any tribunal whatsoever, or of past trustees, or of any past or present protector hereunder, or of any other person where, one, see the little a, such has been instigated by directive, order, or like decree of any court, administrative body, or other tribunal, or where, and I'm going to move it up and center it a little bit, the person attempting to compel the act or attempting to exercise the authority to render advice or otherwise attempting to compel any action or exercise any power which affects or will affect the settlement is not a person either appointed or so authorized or the like pursuant to the terms and conditions of this settlement. In plain English, that means that you are supposed to ignore any advice that is the result of judicial or governmental compulsion. Now, these are really powerful words. These are fighting words. By the way, you have a PDF of this that you can download, keep with you, look at it a few times, read it. You'll soon understand that this is like putting a chip on your shoulder and daring somebody to knock it off. This is the reason why you had best make sure that you don't get over aggressive when you do protection. You need to verify that you have enough money both before and after you protect yourself to meet your reasonably anticipated debts. That doesn't mean if you're sued, you can't go ahead and plan. But if your suit's worth, say, $100,000, leave some money unprotected, leave some assets unprotected, leave an old gas station, leave some polluted land, leave some money in another country but unprotected. You don't have to put a $100 bill on the table of the table of your creditor's lawyer, but you do, or you always should, make sure you're not a pig, because pigs do get eaten. Go watch that video called, I think, Pigs Get Eaten, something like that. But it's really true. This clause is hugely important. It is honored by lawyers. It's honored by protectors. In the rest of the world, it's considered normal practice to have lawyers function as protectors. Asset protection in this way is considered normal, ethical, and responsible behavior by anybody with two nickels to rub together. And I urge you to read this and put it away. We'll be getting back to it more when we talk about going to red alert status, what to do when you're attacked, and how this actually works in practice. Once we've gone through the structure and you have the entire structure in your head and we go to war games, this clause will make great sense to you. We're on to our next clause, commonly known as a Cuba clause. Talk to you soon, and I appreciate your time.